Good morning, everyone. This is BremSter, and today I'm going to bring you a puzzle called Dance Party Completion. This is the third puzzle. I keep saying that. This is the third puzzle in the Sudoku Dance Party series. And these puzzles were designed to be solved in order. Because these are Sotek's exploration of the 10 lines constraint, and in testing they were designed to come out in the order of increased difficulty, where the logic you learn in one puzzle flows into the other. Now it turns out in testing, and this is what happens with puzzles, something was missed with the second puzzle, which we worked out, and in yesterday's video you will have seen, I will have covered that. But so this puzzle, I've been told, may not be as difficult as yesterday's puzzle was. However, some of the logic we learned in yesterday's puzzle is kind of what causes that to be true. So you still probably should solve them in order. These are, I'm starting the year with some hard puzzles, but I wanted to explore 10 lines and I'm really enjoying this set. So a couple of other things I want to go into. First of all is the best of 2024 video. I'm really struggling with words today. Went live a few days ago with this, just before the first puzzle of this series came live. You can go and you can vote on your puzzles just by leaving a comment in that video. And if someone else has already mentioned the puzzle you want to mention, just give it a thumbs up. I've linked to the playlist of all of the solve videos from 2024 there. Any feature puzzle that was featured on 2024 on the channel can be nominated, and all you need to do is upvote it. All of the details are in that video. What else do I want to mention? I hope you've enjoyed this series. Please give Sotek all of the feedback and I hope everyone really likes these puzzles, because these ones have been blowing my mind. Let's have a look at them. So, normal Sudoku rules apply. In every box, in every row, and in every column, the digits 1 to 9 must be placed without repetition. We have 10 lines. That's it. All this is a 10 lines puzzle. So digits on a 10 line and must be divided into one or more non-overlapping sections that each sum to 10. So on this line, we could potentially make these 2 digits sum to 10 and then these 3 digits sum to 10. We couldn't make it that these 3 digits sum to 10 and then these 3 digits also sum to 10, because the 10 sums would then overlap. So this must be a completely independent, let's take blue out of there. That's the way I originally described it. There must be completely independent sections on this that all sum to 10. So what we know is each of these lines will sum to a multiple of 10, because the lines get broken into different sections that sum to 10. Now, I would highly recommend, and I normally don't do this, but if you haven't watched the first video, don't watch the second and the third. And if you haven't watched the second, don't watch the third. Watch these videos in order, or solve the puzzles in order. But this series has been amazing. I'm going to restart the puzzle to restart my timer. Let's give this a shot. Now, these lines here are absolutely the key to the break-in, because they have been in the previous 2. So what we've discovered previously is that either in the previous puzzles, we had a digit in row 1, column 1. But what we've discovered previously is if we look at a line, because this line is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 cells long. Now, you can divide an 8-cell line into 2, 2, 2. I'll use the same color, so it doesn't matter. You can divide it into sets of 2 and have 2, 2, 2, and 2. That's a fine way of doing it. But an interesting thing about it is if you put a 3 on the line at either end, or even somewhere in the middle, but if you put a 3 on the line anywhere, you're left with a 5-cell line, or you're left with 5 cells left on the line. And 5 cells can only be broken into a 3 and a 2, because there's no way you can do a 2, a 2, and a 1, because you can't put 10 into a single cell. You can't do a 4 and a 1, because you can do 10 in 4 with 1, 2, 3, 4, but that again would leave 10 in a single cell. So the only way to do it is with 3, 3, and 2. So if there is a 3-cell section on the line must be 3, 3, 2. So these lines are either 4 2s, because you can't do 10 in a single. So it's either 4 2s, which is sums to 40, or it's a 3, a 3, and a 2, which sums to 30. And they're the only ways of doing these lines. And that's been critical to the break-in on the previous 2 puzzles. Now, the reason we were able to determine that previously is because there was a digit here, and we couldn't because we couldn't repeat 5s here, and 5 had to go on one of the lines because 5 could never go into a 2-cell sum. But there's a 5 in box 1. I can't put 5 into any of those cells, which means there is a 5 up here and there is a 5 down here. And if you think about it, because a 5 can never go into a domino on either of these lines, it could potentially go here, for example. These could both be 5s, and I could put 5 on a 2-cell length here because you can repeat digits on a line. But here, I can't put 5 into it. If this was a 2, 2, 2, 2 line, there's nowhere I could put 5. If I put 5 here, I'd have to put 5 here. If I put 5 here, I'd have to put 5 here. And it doesn't work. So there is a 3 on each of these lines. So these lines are all 30s. Because once I have a 3, I must use a 3 and a 2. So if those lines are all 30s, the maximum this can sum to, because this is a minimum of 1, is 29. And if this is 29, the rule of 45 comes into play, also known as the secret. I like to call it the rule of 45 because when I call it the secret, many people seem to get angry at me for stealing another channel's thing. Anyway, so screw it, I'm going to call it the secret. Now, if we use the secret here, well, what is the secret? The secret is every row of a Sudoku contains all of the digits from 1 to 9. If you add the digits 1 to 9, you get 45. So we know the entire row of a Sudoku, also an entire column or an entire box, sums to 45. Now, we have to pay attention to this particularly in row 1 and column 1. And it's kind of appropriate that we're doing this because we just started 2025, and to my understanding, I should have checked this, 45 squared is 2025. So look out for puzzles this year where you can use the secret twice, because then you are definitely thematic with 2025. Anyway, so we're using the secret twice here. We're using it in row 1 and we're using it in column 1, because the maximum this can sum to is 29 if this is a 1. 45 minus 29 is 16. Now, so these have to sum to a minimum of 16, because if this is a 1, the smallest it can be, letting this sum to 29, this has to sum to 16. If this is 2, then this becomes 28, and this has to sum to 17, which is the maximum it can sum to with an 8 and a 9. So this has to sum to 16 or 17. And you can't do 16 without a 9. Because if I don't use a 9, the maximum this could be would be 7, 8, which is 15. If this becomes 3, just to show you, these are 27, and now these, in 45 minus 27 is 18, and there's no way of doing 18. The maximum I can do is 8, 9, and 8, 9 is 17. So there's no way of making the math work. So, but I must have 16 or 17 in here. But in order to have 16 or 17 in here, I must have a 9. But this is exactly the same. So there must be a 1, 2 here. I must have a 9 in one of those two. That's a 9. And because this has to be 16 or 17, this is a 7 or an 8. This is a 7 or an 8. Which is going to bring this line into play. Because if this is an 8, this is a 2. Because on a 10 line, you can't, an 8 has to be in a 2 lengths sum with a 2, and a 7 is either with a 3 or then in a 3-cell length with 1, 2. This is 7, 3. That's a 1 or a 2, that's a 1 or a 2, but these have to be different because these are different. If this is a 7, this is a 1. Oh, I always get this wrong. If this is a 7, these are 16, which means this is 29 and this is a 1. If this is an 8, then this is that lowers this by 1 and makes this a 2. So if this is a 7, this is a 1. If this is an 8, this is a 2. But so one of these is 7, making this a 1. One of these is 8. So if this is 7, this is 1, this becomes 8, and this becomes 2, or the other way around. So these are different because these are different. So these two digits here are different, different 1s, 2s. So this can't be a 1 or a 2. The minimum here is 3. So if this was an 8, the minimum here would be 3, and I've already blown the total. This is 7. The minimum this could be is 3. This is 8. This ends this 10 line here. But if this is 7, this is 1, and this is 2. And we get, that's beautiful. That is absolutely beautiful. And now this can't be this can't be the 2 cell on the line. So I can't go 3, 3, 2, because if this was a 1, this was a 2 cell, this would be 1, 9, and it doesn't work. So this line terminates here. And the same is true here. This can't go 2, 8 and be a 2 cell. This is a 3 cell 10 line here. Now this is a 3 cell 10 line because I can't do 2 and 1. So this is a 3 cell 10 line, but the minimum here without 2 and 3 is 1, 4, 5. So this is 1, 4, 5. There's no 5 here. Why is that stop working? There's no 5 here. So these are 6, 8, and 9. That can't be an 8 because that can't be a 2. So this is a 1 or a 4. Where do I go from here? So these have to sum to 8 and these have to sum to 9. So can I tell anything about how the lines are made up? Well, I need to put 8 on this line. I can't put 8 in a 3 sum. So 8 is going to be in a 2 sum, so it has to go with 2. So either here or here is an 8, 2. This can't be part of, this is part of the 3 sum. So there's an 8, 2 here with 2, 8, or there's an 8, 2 here. Hang on a minute. This line is a 3 and a 2, but that can't be a 3. Because if this was a 3 cell length without a 1 on it, it would have to be 2, 3, 5. Let's quickly talk about 3 cell lengths. So, 3 cell lengths without ignoring the rest of the digits. If I don't use a 1 on a 3 cell length, the minimum digits are 2, 3, 4. If 2, 3, 4 sums to 9, in order to get to 10, I have to increase one of those digits by 1. I can't increase the 2 because I'd end up with 2 3s. I can't increase the 3, I'd end up with 2 4s. So I'd have to increase the 4 to a 5. 2, 3, 5 is the only way of making a 10 sum without a 1. And I can't do that here. So this can't be a 3 cell length because I can't use a 1. And I can't make 2, 3, 5. There's multiple conflicts. So this isn't the 3 cell length here. Now I have to start at one end. It's either a 2 here and a 3 here, or a 2 here and a 3 here. And now I know the line breaks there. Because I can't make this the 3 and this the 2. So this is a 2 cell length. And it can't be 1, 9. It can't be 2, 8. It can't be 3, 7. This is 4, 6. And this is a 3 cell, well, hang on. So I know what these digits are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 2, 7, and 9. Well, this is a 3 cell length. This can't be a 9. If this is a 9, those two digits would have to sum to 1. That doesn't work. 7, 1, 2. I can't immediately discount that. Now, there is a 9 down here, but I can't put 9 on this line because I just proved it from there. If that was a 9, those two would have to sum to 1, and this would have to be 2 minus 1 or 7 minus 6. Not going to work. 9 is in one of those two. Can I disprove 9 from there? Can that be a 1? Sure. I mean, it may not be, but I don't see why it can't be. Okay. Does that restrict? I need to put 4 and 6 into this line somewhere. But these sum to 9. I can't put 4 or 6 in any of those. This is a bit restricted because they sum to 9. Now, I can't use 1, 8 and I can't use 2, 7. So this is 3, 6 or 4, 5. So there is a 4 or a 6 in here. So one of these is a 4 or a 6 and the other one is from the 2, 8 because the 2, 8 has to go here. So there's a 1 in one of these three. Yeah. Yeah. The 4, that's interesting. Right. The 4 6s can't go in here. I can only put one of them in here. So one of them has to go in one of those two cells. One of these has to be a 4 6 because not here, one in here. So one of them has to go in one of those two. That's fine. But I know that one of these also has to be part of an 8 2 because I need to put an 8 2 in this row. So there has to be an 8 2 either here or here. So these are from 2, 4, 6, 8. That one can't be an 8. That's interesting. So 1 is up here. And the 1 is part of the 3 sum with the other 3, 6 or 4, 5. So this could be 1, 5, 4, 2, 8, 3, 6. Yeah, there's lots of options here, I think. Does that put pressure on this being 7, 1, 2? Because if this is 7, 1, 2, well, 1 is down here now. So this would be 7, 2, 1, which would make that 2, which would make that 8, which would make that 1. This would be 3, 5, this would be 4, 6, and this would be the other one. No, it still seems to work, doesn't it? But this is interesting, actually, because this is another 5-cell length line, not including that cell. This is another 5-cell length line. BremSter needs coffee. So with this being a 5-cell length line, as already discussed, this needs to be a 3 length and a 2 length. And the 3 length can't be there. The 3 length has to start at one end, because if this was the 3 length, say I broke the line there, how are we going to work in column 6? Because these would sum to 10 and these would sum to 10. So we'd have 6 different digits that would need to sum to 20. But the minimum I could put into those is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And if you add those together, you get 21. The math does not work. So this line breaks there. How does that help me? How does that help me? So this is a 10 sum, this is a 10 sum. Those digits sum to 20. How does that help me? We know 5 is in here, so 5 is down here. the makeup of this could be 2, 3, 5. If it's not, I do need to put a 7 in this column. Seven, 3 or 7, 1, 2 both seem to be available. The 5 has to go in a 3-sum. The 6 in this column has to either go with 1, 3 or a 4. If I did 6, 1, 3, if I did 6, 1, 3, how would I complete the 8 here? Because 8, I couldn't use 1, 7. I couldn't use 2, 6. I couldn't use 3, 5. I can't use 6, 1, 3. So there is a 6, 4 in this column. So either this is 6, 4 or this is 6, 4. And then the other one hang on, so that's the 2-sum. So the 7 has to go into a 3-sum. So there is a 7, 1, 2 somewhere. Is that right? 6. If I made this 6, 1, 3, how would I complete this? These sum to 8. I don't have 1, 7. I don't have 2, 6. I don't have 3, 5. It doesn't work. There must be a 6, 4. So the 7 has to go into a 3-sum. There must be a 7, 1, 2 in here somewhere. I am quite stuck. I am quite stuck. I think I need to explore this box more. 8 and 9. I can't put 8 or 9 into any of those cells. So there must be an 8 or a 9 on this line. And this is another 5-cell line. If I put an 8 or a 9, this is part of the 3-cell sum. This is always part of the 3-cell sum, because on a 5-cell length line, as you can see, because if I have to start at one end, this is always part of the 3-cell sum, and an 8 or a 9 can never be part of a 3-cell sum. So the 8 and an 8 or a 9 can never be part of a 3-cell sum, but I have to put an 8 or a 9 in here. And I can only put one 8 or 9 on the line. So this can never be an 8 or a 9, because I can't put 8 or a 9 in a 3-cell sum. So there's no 8, 9 here, there's no 8, 9 here, and I can only put one in here. I can't put it here, because, so this line must terminate here. This can't be a 6, because this has to be one of the 8, 9, and this is either 1, 9 or 2, 8. This is a 3-cell sum, so this can't be a 3-cell sum. This line must terminate here. Sotek, you evil, evil man. So this now, a 4 length can only be broken up in 2 ways. It can either be a single 4 length or it can be 2 2s. But this can't be a single 4 length, because a single 4 length to sum to 10 would need to be 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1 is not available. So this is 2 2s. Okay. I'm getting the breakdown of the lines. I'm also feeling a bit like I'm breaking down, but I'm not. So now am I looking here? Because this must have a low digit in it. This must have a low digit in it. There's 2 low digits already. But that could be a high digit because every 2-cell tensor must have a 1, a 2, a 3, or a 4 in it. Oh, right. This is a 4-cell length line. So it can't be a 3 and a 1. So it's either 2 2s or it's a 4. If this was a 4, these would all be from 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'd have 3 digits from 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I'd have a digit from 1, 2, 3, 4 in here, and a digit from 1, 2, 3, 4 in here, and this box would need 5 digits from 1, 2, 3, 4. This line needs to be split exactly in half. That's crazy. So now now 5. Where's 5 in this box? I can't put 5 in a 2-cell sum. 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 Where the digits see each other. 5 is in one of those two. Which looks across saying, that's not the 5, that's the 5. Which puts 5 down here. 5 can't go in a 2-cell sum where the digits see each other. So there's a 5 in here and 2 digits that sum to 5. So this has to be either part of 1, 4 or 2, 3. So this is a low digit. Is that a 3? Because these digits here are 1, 2, 4, 6. I hadn't bothered pencil marking them, but these are 1, 2, 4, 6, the only digits I haven't placed in the box. Now, this is a 1, 2, 4, 6, 3 of 1, 2, 4, 6, but I must put a 1 or a 2 in here. So 1 of 1, 2, 4, 6, 2 of 1, 2, 4, 6, 3 of 1, 2, 4, 6, 4 of 1, 2, 4, 6. That can't be a 1, a 2, or a 4. That's a 3. These two digits have to sum to 7 and include a 5. That is a 2, 5. So this now, it's a 10 sum. It could be 1, 9. It can't be 2, 8. It can't be 3, 7. It could be 4, 6. So can I use that quadruple in a different way? If this is 1, 9, 8, 4, 6, 9, 2, 8. Yeah, this is 1, 9. This is 4, 6. And then this would be 4, 6. Because remember, there's a 4, 6 here or there's a 4, 6 here. Three in this column is now down here. Hang on. So if this has to be 2, 3, 5. Because 3 and 5 are down here, and whichever one of the digits is in here automatically pulls in the other. So if I put the 5 in here, the 5 automatically means I need the 3 to complete the 10 sum. And if I put 3 in here, so if I don't put either 3 or 5 in here, this has to be simultaneously 3 or 5. This is a 2, 3, 5. And I can get rid of that. So these, one of these is 4, 6, and the other one is 1, 2, 7. I haven't put a 6 in here yet. Now, I can't put 6 here because this is 6, 4 or this is 6, 4. So that means this can't be this. because there's no 6 in this box yet. So either there's no 6 in any of those. This is the 6. I can't put the 6 here because I would need to put the 6-4. If I put the 6 here, the 6-4 would be here, and I've split up the 3. So the 4 has to be in one of those. So I can't put 4 here, and that's a 4, that's a 1. There's no 1 in any of those. Two, 4, 6. So if this is 1, 2, sorry, if this is 2, 8, 4, 6, 1, 9, 8. If this is 2, 8, this can't be 2, 8. If this is 2, 8, this is 4, 6, this is 1, this is 9, but the 2, 8 makes that 9, and I've got 2 9s in the column. This can't be 2, 8. This is 1, 9, this is 4, this is 6. There's no 6 here. The 4 takes 4 out of those. That becomes the 4, that becomes the 6. And these, that divides the line here, and this is the 1, 2, 7, which is the 10 sum I haven't put in. The 2 says there's no 2 there. Oh, the 1 takes 1 out of both of those. That's the 1, that's the 7, that's the 2. That's not done that, has it? But the 1, 9 has made that the 8 and that the 9. These, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Is it this now? Because this has to be part of a 10 sum, and this has to be part of a 10 sum. Actually, is it this? This must have a 1 on it because it can't be 2, 3, 5 anymore. So this has a 1 on it and 2 digits that sum to 9, which can't be 1, 8. It could be 1, 2, 7. It can't be 1, 3, 6, and it can't be 1, 4, 5. This is 1, 2, 7. So it's 1 and 2 digits that sum to 9. Can't use 1, 8 because I've already used the 1. Could use 1, 2, 7. Can't use 1, 3, 6, and can't use 1, 4, 5. And it couldn't not use a 1 because to not use a 1, and I've already explained it needs to be 2, 3, 5, and that's broken by that cell. This is insanely good. And now this can't be a 7, because if this is a 7, this would have to be 7, 2, 1, and that breaks that cell. That's a 2. So these are 1, 4, 6, and 9, aren't they? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, 1, 4, 6, and 9. If this is a 9, this would have to be a 1, and it can't be. 6, 4, or 1, 9. That all seems to work, and it's the same here. So this is a 1, 4, 6, 9 quadruple in this box. Because if this is the 4, 6, this is the 1, 9. If this is the 1, 9, this is the 4, 6. Except this can't be the 1, 9. That's the 4, 6. This isn't the 4, 6. This is the 1, 9, which means this isn't the 1, 9. This is the 4, 6. So these are 2 digits that need to sum. No, this hasn't helped me at all. Well, this isn't the 2. But these are 2 digits that have to sum to 8. Well, they can't be 1, 7. They can't be 2, 6. These are 3, 5. This didn't help me at all, but if I'd actually done the Sudoku earlier, that would have helped me. Yeah, these 2 digits have to sum to 8. They can't be 1, 7. They can't be 2, 6. They're 3, 5 because 4, 4 is ludicrous. Oh, 2, 8 could still work, or 2. Well, this can't be 2. This can't be 8 because if this is 8, this is 2. So there's no 8 there. So there's an 8 in one of those 2. Because it has to go 2, 8 or 2, 8 because I can't do like the 2, 8 the 8-2 in a different position, because then I wouldn't have the 3 sum. Remember, I need to have a 2 and a 3. I can't split up the 3. There's an 8 down here somewhere. This is a... That could be 8-2. Don't see why... Oh, sorry, 8-2. Don't see why not. There's a 2 up here. Okay. Place your bets, ladies and gentlemen. Is this Sudoku I am missing? This is not a gambling channel. I am just trying to make a joke while I'm figuring out what I'm doing wrong. The 2-5 is not seeing, is seeing that. That's the 3, that's the 5. Which means there's no 5 here or here. There is a 5 in here, and these digits have to sum to 9. This is 4-5. So there's no 4 here. So these are 2 and 6. And remember, the 2 goes with the 8. So the 2 goes with an 8 and the 6 goes with the 1-3. Hang on. So one of these is 6 and then 1-3. So I know what these 3 digits are. 1, 3, and 8. I can't put 8 in the middle. And I can't put 3 there. But that means these digits are 7 and 9. And this can't be a 7 because that would have to be a 3. That's the 9, that's the 7, that's the 1, that's the 9, that's the 1. The 1 is looking down saying that's not the 1. The 7 is looking down, actually making that a 2. The 1 is looking up, making that the 3. This has not resolved this yet. Something will. It's going to be Sudoku, which I will find eventually. It's 2025. I've got heaps of time. There's a whole year for me to find the solution to this puzzle. This, well, hang on. The 4-6 is looking up, making that the 5 and that the 4. This isn't yet a triple. I mean, I know those are the same digit, but there's multiple ways I can get that just using Sudoku. This is a 7, 8, or 9, because this column is missing 1, 7, 8, 9, and that can't be a 1. So what's this 2-cell sum? It can't be 1, 9, 2, 8. This is 3, 7, because it can't be 1, 9, it can't be 2, 8, it can be 3, 7, but it can't be 4, 6. So this is 3, 7. Which means that's not a 7. So 7 in this column has to be down here, but 7 is in here. That's the 7, that's the 1, which means that's the 8, that's the 1. So this is 8 or 9, which means this has to be 1 or 2, because 8 or 9, and it can't be a 2. If this was an 8, that would have to be a 2 to complete a 10 sum, because I can't do a 3-cell 10 sum. I mean, I could if I could do 1, 8, 1, but there's no way I can do, with an 8 in the middle of a 3-cell sum that's sort of jig-jag, like potentially here early on in the puzzle, it might have been possible to go 1, 8, 1 on this line, but not now, not that I've done all the other deductions. Here, however, with an 8 at the end of the line, there is no way for this to be an 8, because the only way to complete the 10 sum would be directly into a 2, and I can't do it. This is a 9, which must jump immediately into a 1 and break the line there. This is a 3-cell sum that doesn't have a 1 in it. This is 2, 3, 5, and I can't put the 2 there. This is a 3, 5 pair. The 9 is looking up, making that the 8. So this is 2, 3, 5. That's a 3, 5 pair. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This is an 8, 9 pair. The 5 is looking down saying that's not the 5. So this is a triple. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 4, 6, and 7. There's no 4 there. The 4, 6 is looking down, making that the 7, which makes that the 6, which makes that the 4. The 4 makes that the 6, which makes that the 4, which makes that the 6, which makes that the 4. This is now forced, isn't it? I can't use 1, 9. I can't use 4, 6. I can't use 3, 7. This is 2, 8. Which means that's 3, that's 9. The 3 makes that 5, which makes that 2, makes that 8. Can I resolve the 2, 8? Because these are 2, 5, 8 to complete this box, which tells me what that is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's a 7, because then 8 and 9. And once again, the feedback that I sometimes get is, why do I bother counting out loud? It's because when watching a video, I want it that people can actually follow along. And if I'm just putting digits in quickly, it sometimes can be really hard to follow. The 2, 8 pair here, because I can't put a 5 here and I can't put a 5 here, makes this the 5. If this is a 2, this has to be an 8. If this is an 8, this has to be a 2, because this is a 2-cell tensum, giving me a 2, 8 pair. And the 2, 8 pair means, first of all, that's not an 8, but the 2, 8 pair makes that the 6. This is the 3 that hasn't been put in the box. So this is the 7, this is the 3. This 1 is looking up, making that the 9 and that the 1. The 9 is looking up, making that the 7 and that the 9. The 8 is looking up, making that the 2 and that the 8, which makes that the 2 and that the 8. Multiple ways of resolving it. The 2 looks across, making that the 6, which makes that the 2. The 7 looks across, making that the 8 and that the 7. These are 5 and 8. And then the 8 looks down, making that the 5 and that the 8. I don't like just writing digits in. 5 makes that the 3 and that the 5. So again, I will pencil mark. 3 and 4 are what's not placed. There's a 3 that looks down, making that the 4 and that the 3. The 4 looks up, making that the 6 and that the 4. The 2 looks up, making that the 5 and that the 2. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 9 go in. The 6 looks down, making that the 9 and that the 6. And that is the solution to the puzzle. That was amazing. This break-in trick, I'm not sure how easy that would have been to find without having done the previous puzzles, but I've done the previous puzzles, so that really helped. Because we were introduced to this logic in puzzles that had a given in row 1, column 1, and I think that really did help. This puzzle is really cool. And the other logic trick, which I think I learnt in the first puzzle, was the fact that you can't have 2 3-cell long tensum lines pointing at each other in the same row or column. Potentially same box as well, but that wasn't relevant here. So this meant that this had to be the 2-sum, and this meant that this had to be a 2-sum, which broke these into 2-sums, which restricted the 5. This was just gorgeous. What a puzzle. This entire series was amazing. I can't believe that a month ago Sotek was going, I don't know anything about 10-line puzzles, and then he comes up with this. That's not Sotek's voice. This is me, like, making fun of Sotek because I'm really jealous, like really, really jealous. Yeah, Sotek's been amazing. Sotek was the reason this channel exists. Like, blame Sotek, because yeah, it's just wow. Sotek showed me how to solve one of my own puzzles, and like I can never be grateful enough. He has turned my life around, just in really good ways. Thank you, Sotek, for everything you have done. Yeah, these puzzles were amazing, and I hope you've enjoyed them. A little bit more difficult than the normal thing. Oh, this is what I forgot to do. This will annoy people. It annoys me when I saw it. Thank you everyone for for watching, as always. I really hope you've enjoyed these. Please leave positive feedback to Sotek because he absolutely has enjoyed it. Hopefully 2025 or 45 squared, the secret to the power of 2 is going to be a great year for all of us. And I'm going to hopefully continue to bring more puzzles. Lee, feel free to submit recommendations or submit your own puzzles below. In every video, there will be a pop-up to my submission guidelines. I also tend to put a pop-up to it's a free page on my Patreon where you can go and there's like 25 puzzle packs available already for free. Some of them I've already covered as videos. Some of them you may not have seen before, but there's hundreds and hundreds. It's probably over 1,000 puzzles now that are available for free over on my Patreon for anyone who wants them. So if you're just looking for puzzles to solve, there's heaps available. I reckon there must be something like 3,000 puzzles available for free on my channel now of various levels of difficulty. And that's just always been my goal. And I hope to add to that by at least one a day. Thanks everyone for watching. I hope you've enjoyed everything. And as always, good luck with your solving.